Good morning from Matt Burt at the Chang circuit. We're just a few miles from the city of Buriram, ready to bring you the Thai Grand Prix. The cameras take us to the starting grid where riders and engineers are discussing the final details. The sun came out after the rain a few hours ago, but it took quite a long time for the track to dry out. Most riders have decided to go with a medium rear tyre. However, this will require very smooth riding to keep it from overheating. Fabio Quartararo is the big favourite, starting from first place on the grid.
Whose destination the top of the podium here in Buriram? We're on the way in MotoGP. Marco Bazzecchi got a great launch away from pole position. Crossing the front row, Bagnaia in third. Alex Rins going in way too high into turn number 3. Got to be careful on those slippery curves. We saw a couple of falls on the curves in the Moto2 race earlier on. He runs around the outside though. Marc Marquez, Frenchman. And then Quartararo lost the rear big time on that slippery paintwork, didn't he? Fabio Quartararo's had an absolute disastrous first lap here. Quartararo started
10th position up behind Alex. Much racing still to go.
Absolute nightmare. Went right from the very first corner, didn't it, for Fabio Quartararo into turn number 12 with
blue paint, and that does promote Quartararo wrong for him on the first lap. Turn 4.
Yeah, Alex Marquez had to run wide because he nearly tagged the back of Alex Marquez going into that turn 4 on the entry. Second, don't you, in the sector where you have run wide.
Here's contact with Leu, barge his way past Brad Binder. Binder run way out wide.
After the near contact with Martin in that first corner, having made the whole shot from pole position, he has to drop to set the fastest lap of the Grand Prix, stretching away here
on the inside of Bagnaia. So certainly no team orders there at the Ducati factory team as Miller takes over second place. He's now in the position to inherit the lead when
Oliveira now picks off Jorge Martin, the KTM man, up into fourth place. The problem here for Marco Bezzecchi, how is he going to drop that one position safely? Because Miller and
Bezzecchi, who does slot in between two factory Ducati, so he's dropped the one position he had to. His teammate Marini was got
Miller
on the lead as he goes down in the third sector. You can see the annoyance there of Pablo Nieto, but unfortunately one of the Muni VR46 riders out of the Grand Prix just as the other.
Martin runs in really hard again in that first corner. Second time in the Grand Prix of the race with Marco Bezzecchi. Martin well wide in turn. No flags are out in sector 4. So we'll quick look at our commentary box window to try and find out what's happened there. No obvious sign. We can see there at the bottom left the kind of performance we expected from the
fastest lap of the Grand Prix. He does not have to rush this, Miguel Oliveira. With Miller just up the road, he can take his time with this.
Such a long time to go. We've only completed 5 laps of
more grip. Marco barge his way up the inside of Bezzecchi, who will now surely relinquish that fourth place to Pecco Bagnaia. He does slot in. He's also in the 39s, running in P8.
So Thriller Miller on course at the moment for a dream stability, as well as the seemingly better edge than the Ducatis. The fans are on their feet. They're egging on the factory Ducati in the hands of numbers. Surrendered lead, having run wide the first corner, where just that moment where he had to back out of it, it's just completely disrupted and disturbed Bezzecchi's rhythm. Just that momentary lapse where he had
to Gian Antonio and Binder. This is an absolute nightmare of an afternoon.
In fact, on that previous lap, Pecco Bagnaia and Marc Marquez set the exact same lap time. They both traded a 140.
Rider on the 41.715 on the last lap. The only two riders who were slower than him on the last lap were Darren Binder and Tetsuya. Going to be right near his teammate Maverick Vinales and just alongside Alex Rins. So Alicia Spargaro will team. Position.
And look at this World Championship as a title contender. There'll still be 75 points up for grabs after this Buriram battle. Jack Miller, this will be a massive win, the biggest win of his career. Stretched his advantage over Marc Marquez back up to over a...
Bagnaia could only match the leading pair. He couldn't close it anymore on that the 12th or 11th lap. We're now on to lap 12.
He's a smooth and smart operator, isn't he? First sector, back with your race leader, Jack Miller, particularly in that second sector. There's just no spray at all now being kicked up by those Michelin rain tyres.
In this position, it was the contact with Brad down at turn 3. They're battling again as Vinales evaded the calves of Ralph Fernandez. It's been...
And that Ducati into turn number 12, Miller.
At the LCR Honda in... that battle for 5th and 6th. Then we have Martin 7th, Bastianini 8th. He's also in the 39s.
There's nowhere near podium pace. In fact, he was
world champion. He found a 140.6 last time around. That's still a second a lap slower than the fastest man on circuit, Johan Zarco. But with some riders up
sideline, Miller tried to leave his braking as late as he possibly could. They were side by side. It was a game of dare on the brakes, wasn't it? It was won by...
Get back past Oliveira. If Oliveira can put some clean laps in with his own rhythm, he should pull away from Jack Miller, given how quickly he looked.
Oliveira, it does continue to, well, be no further rain, and those tyres will start getting a little bit squirmy underneath those riders.
And the later we get into this Grand Prix, the smaller the tap is 9/10 of a second. They matched each other on that lap as Zarco now continues his
18th place right now. He's losing well over a second a lap in this Grand Prix. Fabio Quartararo, shocker like this in the rain conditions, so he needs some drama here to before some of the riders ahead of him to get inside the points scoring places.
So the pit ball there to Jack Miller. Him that it is Bagnaia.
Marc Marquez can find a way through on Bagnaia. Easy said than done. Whether he might even have something late on here for Jack Miller as well. Miller's now just under Harco.
Still 7 laps to go yet as well. Still a long way to go in this Grand Prix if Oliveira gets any slower as those wet tyres begin to suffer and search for some stages.
Remember when Simon Crowfoot spoke to Johan Zarco? These are my conditions. These are conditions I love when the track... This is the best lap of this Grand Prix. Johan Zarco there at the top of your picture, out of the first corner on the... He's cut the gap now down to Marquez to 1.
We're in the 39s and Oliveira leading this Grand Prix did a 40.1. The lead now from Oliveira to Zarco in 5th down to 3.5 seconds.
Here of holding on to that.
Former KTM rider, of course, coming at him as Marquez now sends it up the inside. That's how little he cares about the World Championship battle. He sends it up the inside.
Marquez then makes one failed attempt on Bagnaia for 3rd into turn number 3. Coming from a long, long way back here into turn 3. He's got the front end of that.
Easily. But Johan Zarco, if he can get these moves done quickly, that's going to really decide this Grand Prix. If he can pass Bagnaia and Marquez.
Slippery curve there coming through turn number 8. Brilliant this by Zarco. Now then, next to this side is Pekka.
A better chance, you feel, to potentially take a MotoGP victory on that last lap. He matched the race leader for pace. It was
to start this lap number 22 of 25. He was 2.7 seconds behind your race leader Miguel Oliveira, who at the moment...
him that it is Bagnaia.
Marc Marquez can find a way through on Bagnaia. Easier said than done. Whether he might even have something late on here for Jack Miller as well. Miller's now just under Harco.
Still 7 laps to go yet as well. Still a long way to go in this Grand Prix. If Oliveira gets any slower as those wet tyres begin to suffer and search for some dangers.
Remember when Simon Crafar spoke to Johan Zarco? These are my conditions. These are conditions I love when the track is the best lap of this Grand Prix. Johan Zarco there at the top of your picture, out of the first corner on the he's cut the gap now down to Marquez to 1.
We're in the 39s, and Oliveira leading this Grand Prix did a 40.1. The lead now from Oliveira to Zarco in 5th down to 3.5 seconds.
Here of holding on to that
former KTM rider, of course, coming at him as Marquez now sends it up the inside. That's how little he cares about the World Championship battle. He sends it up the inside.
Marquez then makes one failed attempt on Bagnaia for 3rd into turn number 3, coming from a long way back here into turn 3. He's got the front end of that
easily. But Johan Zarco, if he can get these moves done quickly, that's going to really decide this Grand Prix. If he can pass Bagnaia and Marquez.
Slippery curve there, coming through turn number 8. Brilliant this by Zarco. Now then, next to this side is Packer-Ban.
A better chance, you feel, to potentially take a MotoGP victory on that last lap. He matched the race leader for pace. It was to
start this lap number 22 of 25. He was 2.7 seconds behind your race leader Miguel Oliveira, who at the moment is comfortably keeping Miller up.
Clinging on to this final podium position as Zarco zeroes in, looking through the sector times, the first sector of this lap. Oliveira slow in turn, still 4 seconds adrift of where he needs to be just to score even a single point today.
Is the move coming from Zarco into turn number 12, it's over Miller. Bagnaia doing all he can to resist this relentless. Marc Marquez just struggling for late race pace here on that Repsol.
Pretty much everything he's got to try and hang on to 5th place. Zarco now in the slipstream, but as Matt mentioned, he's got to be careful here. The last thing Ducati need.
Nightmare as well, a dismal day for the poleman. Marquez Secchi now out of the points. He's in 16th place. Number here maybe be stronger on the brakes in the turn 12. He hugs the inside line. He's not going to be close.
The crucial part of the racetrack, he's not close enough.
I'll tell you what, my heart was in my mouth there for Ducati fans. I don't know what it's like for Davide Tardosi, Paolo Cibatti and Gigi Dall'Igna. Wet qualifying in Japan, but he's doing a fantastic job here on course for one of the most important podiums of his Grand Prix career. Over the line, though,
truly special from Jack Miller if he's going to deny the rider. He's further back. Maverick Vinales has just moved.
To find a way through, and now he's got it all on to try and hang on to 4th place. How much has he overworked those Michelin rain tyres to get himself fading? Hugely important 3rd place for his World Championship, but it's another rain masterclass from Miguel Oliveira. He takes the victory here.
Let's take a look at the final ranking of the MotoGP race before the traditional podium ceremony. We're moving to Parc Ferme with the live coverage where the 3 podium finishes have just arrived. The winner is over the moon and we are picking up again live from the track where the first 3 riders have just arrived on the podium for the award ceremony. We've seen a very exciting race and these riders deserve all the love from the fans.